G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. Well, not exactly the bush today, it's more my backyard. But when I do head out bush, obviously everyone needs lunch. And to do that, I usually take my travel buddy. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a modification to the travel buddy to see if we can make it a little bit more efficient. And that modification is the insulated Kaon front door. Now, I don't have a bob either way in the Kaon front door. I paid $60 odd, including freight, to get it to my front door. So if it works, I'll tell you about it, and if it doesn't, I'll also do that. What we're going to do is we're going to grab my temperature data logger, and after the modification's done, we're going to have a look at preheat times, cooking times for frozen pies, and cool down times as well. Now the door has already been installed on the front of the unit, as you can see, so let's wind back the clock a bit and see how the install goes. So when it comes time to do the installation of the insulated door, this doesn't actually replace the door, it just goes over the top of this door with a layer of insulation between the two layers. First thing we do have to do though is to remove the handle. And that's just an M8. Now that's done, we can actually get to the job of putting the cover over the top of the layer of insulation. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to drill holes on the side, but first we've got to mark it up. Now we've got the handle off, just flip the cover over the top, roughly centralise it, and grab your felt tip marker and just mark up either end. And don't forget the other side. Right, now we've got our 4 marks there. We can take the cover off and drill our holes. Before we drill it up though, now stainless can be a bit of a bear to drill. It's one of the worst steels to drill. So I'm going to use an automatic punch to mark up both holes, so my drill's got somewhere to start. Okay, the kit itself actually comes with a double-sided number 30 drill, which is very good of them. That way I don't have to go rummaging through and find the correct size drill. And using your centre punch marks to align, staying the steel nice and slowly. The work hardens very easily. One done, now for the second one. Again, line it up with your centre punch mark. Rightio, now we're going to install the door. Now before we install the cover, a couple of things we have to do. We have to put a handle back on it. So we'll just install that. A little shake-proof washer on there. Not that they do a great deal. And then that on top. And just cinch him down with the 8mm. Rightio. Now of course we need to put the insulation in. Now there is an advisory against using your hands to do that and using gloves, but my gloves are inside so I'll just do it with my hands. Rightio. And we can now put the cover on. It's a fairly tight fit actually. We're going to have to press it in when we run the bolts in the side, so we'll start doing that now. Okay, now the installation is complete. Actually, a little bit fiddly, but reasonably quickly done. We still have a couple of sort of sharp corners here which you might need to watch yourself on. They look like they've been sufficiently deburred. I would have preferred to see them welded on the corners. Just like the machine actually, but beggars can't be choosers. Rightio. Okay, so last thing to do, the branding. Okay. Now, Kaon themselves might like me sticking the sticker there. It depends on the performance of their modification, and that's what we'll have a look at now. Where's my pies? And let's have a look at the graphs. Now, all these graphs were generated using my temperature data logger, which records the temperature in degrees Celsius every minute automatically. And if you happen to think in freedom units, well, What can I say? Get with the program or convert it over. Rightio, the blue line is the uninsulated or standard door, and the orange line, of course, is the insulated Kaon aftermarket door. Now, as you can see, interestingly, at the start, the travel buddy with the uninsulated door actually started to heat up a little bit more quickly. But soon the insulated door takes over. Now, your usual preheat is 180 degrees Celsius for most cooking, and the insulated door managed to reach that in 50 minutes, but the uninsulated or standard door was only 3 minutes behind the insulated door at 53 minutes. I thought it would do considerably better than that, but as we all know, the data holds the truth. It's not opinion, it's data that holds the truth. And there's only 6% difference between the two. But what about cool down times? Maybe it's considerably better there. So we started off cooling down with both units at 180 degrees Celsius, as you can see in the graph, and the uninsulated door didn't do as well as the insulated door as you'd expect, though there's not a great deal of difference, as you can see in the graph, especially when you're getting towards the bottom degrees there, past the 1 hour mark. But as we know, the proof's in the pudding, or in this case, the pies. So let's have a look at that. So this is where we got 4 pies, 4 and 20 pies out of the deep freeze, and we put them into a preheated oven. Now, when your mum told you to not open the oven door because all the heat escapes, she wasn't wrong. And in both cases, with a preheated oven from dead cold, we seem to lose about 10 degrees or so. And initially, the uninsulated door, so standard door, was actually doing a little bit better, up to about the 10 or 12 minute mark, and then steadily the insulated door starting to perform better. After 2 hours, of course your pies are well and truly cooked by then, the uninsulated door reached a max temp of about 150 degrees, whereas the insulated door, after 2 hours, reached a max temp of about 170 degrees or thereabouts. So it did a better job, but not a substantially better job over 2 hours. So what do we think in the end? Well, it's without a shadow of a doubt, the insulated front door mod does increase the performance of the travel buddy. The data logger proves that without a shadow of a doubt. It doesn't, however, increase it substantially. It does increase it a bit. It's an evolution rather than a revolution. Okay, now considering the unit itself is 260 bucks and the insulated door adds an additional $60 by the time it's in your hands, would I do it twice? Well, I don't regret the modification, but knowing how much it increases the performance, I probably wouldn't do it again. Okay guys, now if you like this video, don't forget to give it the old thumbs up, and if you didn't, by all means, give it a thumbs down twice. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. So what do we think? Is that another plane? Yeah, no, it's a little plane this time, not a jet. Oh, it's different.